Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise in opposition of this resolution, and I'm going to echo some of the comments my good colleague from the 62nd District just mentioned, that we do not have a public health emergency. Because at this point, our hospitalizations are at 30. At the peak, they were 1,500 when we really had the emergency. Today, our mortality is hovering around 0. As a matter of fact, yesterday it was negative because of reclassification. When we had the real emergency, we had 50 or 70 people die in a bad day. Today, our economy is growing. As a matter of fact, I'm being told there are not enough people to fill jobs. When we had the emergency, we had few 100,000 people. As a matter of fact, 20 to 30% of our residents and people in our community could not go work. So it is unjustifiable today to say that we sit in a time of public health emergency. Now, saying that we have an emergency and giving up our job, our duties to the governor creates big problems. Number one, we lose credibility. We lose credibility that we're using this idea of an emergency to give over our responsibility to the governor, because nobody believes us. Nobody believes the idea that we are doing this because it's an emergency. It's very clear there's something else out there which is not being discussed, some hidden motive. It doesn't come out honest and truthful. And for that reason, my colleagues, I ask all of you, and I ask our respected governor not to do this, because we need to come out as credible, as truthful, and as honest. Saying today that we exist in a state of medical emergency just is not credible to our constituents. I think it also creates fear. When we say we're still in a state of emergency, the Delta variant is there, bad things are going to happen. The businesses are on the other side saying, well, settle down, things are settling down. Our behavior on the other side is totally in contrast. So this creation of fear is not right. This manufacturing of fear in a political context is used by other countries and other regimes, but not by people like us. Not at all. We are not going to be perceived correctly, perceived in good honor, if we are using these issues to even increase the amount of fear. Because today we do have it in control, and we hope that the actions and the sacrifices our people have made and the good actions and policies we have taken will keep us in good stead. I think not propagating or putting up that fear is extremely important, and for that reason as well, I ask my colleagues and Governor to actually not take this action and not take the action of taking extra powers by declaring emergency. And finally, I really think that this action would weaken our institutions. This action truly weakens our institutions. The strength of our institutions lies in the balance of power amongst the three branches and how they work together and do their own job and make sure they do not go and take over the other branch. The legislative does not go over the executive does not go over the legislative, and neither go over the judiciary. And that's the strength of our institutions. Today, by taking this action, if we pass this resolution, it will make a dent on the strength of our institutions, which have served us well for so long. I think it weakens us as a legislator. It does. What kind of legislator would say turn over the keys when, if we look carefully, there is no emergency? There seems to be a hidden motive. And so for that reason as well, to keep our institutions strong, to keep our credibility as a legislator strong and uncontestable, unassailable, we need to act today to reject this resolution. And members of this body, my colleagues, on my side, across the aisle, I ask you to vote against this resolution for that reason. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.